Hi, it's Abby from Homeschool with Moxie. Are you homeschooling a fifth grader anytime soon? This will be the fifth time we homeschool a fifth grader in our homeschool. So if you're curious about what we've decided to use this time around, come take an inside peek into our curriculum choices. So here's an inside peek into our eclectic resource mix for fifth grade. You can see I pick and choose from all different companies for every subject. So a little bit of BJU Press, All About Learning Press, Progeny Press, Thinking, the Critical Thinking Company. We have Generations Homeschool represented here. We have some IEW, and we even have reading comprehension sheets from Abeka, which I don't usually use much Abeka at all, but we had these in our stash. So this is my eclectic fifth grade mix. Let me talk specifically about a few of these resources. One thing that has remained constant through all 5 kids going through fifth grade is that we still love the BJU Press math work texts for K through 6 at least. Sometimes we go K through 8 before we veer off into our high school math. Now, there is nothing wrong with BJU high school math. In fact, it's really solid, but in the high school years, I tend to outsource the teaching and we do something online. But I find that in fifth grade math, I still can just purchase the student work text. I don't need the teacher book. We can figure out if it's correct or not really easily. It's easy for her to use, easy for me to teach her from. And so we still love BJU Press for the elementary years, and it's very inexpensive because all I buy is this one student work text and she writes, she writes right in it. It's a consumable workbook. If you do want to see inside any of these books, check out the links with this video and you can see my blog post where I take you into an inside peek and talk about each one more specifically. Now, for language arts, we're using a big mix of all sorts of resources. One of them is Fix It Grammar from Institute for Excellence in Writing, or IEW. This is really inexpensive as well, and it's also very easy to use. It's only 5 or 10 minutes each day to stay on top of all the grammar. And so we really love this program and highly recommend it. We also use All About Spelling. We are using some Progeny Press study guides for literature. And I had some read and think skill sheets left in my stash from Abeka, and I'm using those for reading comprehension. As far as writing, we're not doing anything formal this year, but I will probably use some IEW writing resources next year. And then for history and science this year, since I'm just teaching my fifth grader by herself, she doesn't have siblings that I'm teaching together, which is how I've homeschooled my whole life. And I kind of don't know what to do with my youngest. It's a little weird having just one kid in elementary these days. But she's going to use Generations Homeschool resources and curriculum for both science and history. I already did a review of their elementary history curriculum, which I will link to with this video, but we are doing Taking Africa for Jesus, and then the next few years we will use their Europe and Asia curriculum as well. And then here for science from Generations Homeschool, we have God Made Animals. Both of these come with a student workbook that's consumable and then the actual text. So I hope this little inside peek gives you some inspiration, maybe some resources you've never heard about before, and to make you realize you can have a really great eclectic mix for your fifth grader. If a big box curriculum publisher is out of your price range, I want you to realize that you don't need to do that. See how I've mixed up a whole bunch of things from all different curriculum distributors, and a lot of this can even be found used or online, and it's really inexpensive. And none of these items are hard to use. The other key characteristic I look at when choosing homeschool curriculum is it user friendly? Is it open and go? Is it easy to be used by a homeschool child and a homeschool parent? And all of this will only take a couple short hours a day and then we're done. If you want to see more detail about what we're using or anything else about homeschooling, I will link below and you can check us out at 41more.com.